Welcome to Grow Organically, the podcast where we host candid discussions with wealth management and financial pros. Each episode, we break down factors that drive growth at wealth management firms and how organizations can continue to be forward thinkers in today's competitive landscape. Grow Organically is brought to you by Catchlight. You can access all our podcasts, including show notes and other resources to keep learning, at catchlight.ai. Dan Gilmartin is the host of Grow Organically and is the head of marketing at Catchlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Grow Organically podcast. I'm Dan Gilmartin, head of marketing for Catchlight, and I'm thrilled to have my friend Angela here from Wealthspire. Angela, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the company.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at Wealthspire Advisors. We are a national RIA with, I think, right now, 23 locations in like 12 states across the U.S. And the work that I do is very much focused on organic growth. So whenever you reached out for this conversation, I was like, where do I sign up? Let's do this.
Awesome. Well, thrilled to have you here. Thanks so much for taking the time. Let's dive right in. I've been reading a lot about growth, about marketing within the wealth management sector. So running it for a wealth management firm, love to get your perspective on how you help your organization think about developing marketing, developing a growth-oriented program, specifically on the organic side of things.
Sure. I mean, I didn't want to start off the conversation with "in my day," but I'm gonna because I have to. So I've been doing this for 20 years, and so much has changed from a marketing standpoint. I remember when I started, marketing was, send a newsletter, like a physical printed newsletter. And that was marketing. And then it kind of transitioned to, well, maybe we should pay more attention to our website. Maybe we should add a blog. Maybe it matters that we're, it was very much a face-to-face relationship business. And it still is. The marketing, though, has just evolved tremendously. And what's exciting for people like me and you is that I think the industry gets it now. There's a lot more focus on what can we do, whether it's through technology and digital efforts, to how can we sort of amp up that client experience and use marketing to do it. So I would say that building it now, it's so much of a different focus on what is the end result and how can we get there, and what are the tools that we can be using to help us actually track to get us there. And I think that's sort of the differentiator now when it comes to marketing is that, we sent X number of newsletters. We don't know who read them. We don't know. Maybe somebody called us from that. Maybe we got a referral. Now we have tangible results of the efforts that we're doing. And that speaks volumes to people who, that this is a results business. So to be able to come back to my leaders, to my advisors and say, hey, we've got this number of open rates, this converted to this, number of people reaching out and wanting to meet with you. That's, I think, what has changed the most and has worked the most in the last 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, I think tools and talent are two critical elements for folks sitting in your seat, certainly my seat as well, on the vendor side. But we'll talk about them in a moment. You talked about the measurement, how many leads did we generate, how many phone calls, how many meetings. Would love to get your perspective on how you help your organization rally around the notion of organic growth.
Yeah, this is something that I've seen evolve over time too. It used to be very much service, and we still are. None of that has changed, but thinking in that growth mindset is actually kind of exciting. This is a business. We want to serve more of the people that we really enjoy working with. And how do we do that in a way that is budget conscious, right? If we're spending X number of dollars, what are we getting for that money? And kind of putting these plans into place, the way that I think about it is, what does the firm want to achieve? Like Wealthspire, we have kind of two audiences that we're trying to get in front of, right? We do acquisitions. We are always looking to find new partner firms to join us. And we want to be in that space. We want to make sure that we have the brand awareness there, that people know who we are. They feel like they could be a strong partner for us. So how are we marketing there, and how are we measuring that success? And then, of course, it is the individuals, the families that we want to appeal to them. We want to kind of position our individual advisors in a way that people feel like this is somebody who gets me. That's a very different marketing strategy with different metrics. But it really starts with what the firm wants to achieve, and then kind of looking back at that's the other thing. Now we have historical data. What have we done well? What hasn't done well? What levers can we push to maybe adjust what we're doing and spend a little bit more money here? And this is sort of that desired result, the projected result based on, what we've done in the past. That's been really valuable for us in getting people on board with that growth mindset. I always say it's the small wins at first. And it is when people see, like we had a young advisor not that long ago. She had this crazy idea. I want to be a finfluencer. That's a thing I just learned, by the way. It's not influencer, it's finfluencer. But you have to justify that. There's a spend, right? There's resources that have to be allocated to creating this platform for this person. And within the first month or two, she had landed a client from an Instagram campaign.
That's awesome.
So an Instagram, for instance, is just one avenue where you can see the stats. You can see which of the video clips did well, how well did people engage with something, and changing to kind of meet what is doing well. You get a win like that, and it's infectious. People want to know, what did she do? How did that happen? That has helped us tremendously in like getting people on board with that growth mindset. They get it.
Right. Love that. We talked the other day about justifying the investment, and I want to bring this back to team and tools, or talent and tools. How do you, within your organization, and you talked about strategy and execution. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I'd love to hear a little bit about how you think about the talent and the tools connected with that strategy and execution to prove things internally, to really rally around the organization around the work that you're doing on the organic growth front in particular.
Yeah. Obviously, it has to start with leadership. Leadership has to be saying, we're investing in this. We believe in this. This is a part of our growth strategy. It is a key part. Having the right people in the right seats to do the work is very important. And whenever we were talking the other day, it's not just having the big ideas, because man, I have a harebrained scheme like every other day. It is understanding which ideas could actually lead to results and executing on that. I am big on, I cannot be all talk. There has to be action and consistent, sustainable action. So that's kind of the way I think about, what's made us successful. It has to start with leadership. And I have to show, my role is to say, this is how we're structured. This is our plan of attack, right? This is what we need. These are the people that we need. And this is what we expect to get out of it. And that's what we're accountable for. It's that accountability piece, I think, that we didn't talk about. It's delivering on those results, but being accountable and saying, okay, you know what? This was a miss. We invested in, a Google AdWord campaign that kind of flopped, but this is what we learned from it. So I never feel like we're failing. I feel like as long as we have buy-in from leadership, we're showing the small wins, and people are kind of on board. And sometimes it's one person at a time. We joked about that. I'm so determined. I'm like, especially if somebody's like, I don't know about marketing. Marketing people are good at marketing themselves. I'm like, okay, I got to go get this person. I got to convert this person.
Love it.
If I have to do it one person at a time and show those small wins, that's sort of my plan of success. Has to start from the top, have that strategy, be able to execute on that strategy, show the results. And then the more you win, the more people believe in you and the more, people want to be a part of that.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the rallying part of what you have to do. Market not yourself, but what you're doing, the work that you're doing, and the outcomes of that work internally. And I think there's a unique challenge that you have in the fact that you're pretty active on the M&A front.
Yeah.
You're bringing in new firms, and if they're not, if they don't have a historical organic growth program, you now have to educate that new firm about what you're doing and how you're going to help them. Love to hear a little bit about that challenge in and of itself.
You would think it would be a challenge, but it really hasn't, because what I've learned is a lot of the firms that are looking to join Wealthspire, they're eager. They get that marketing is important, and it might not have been an area where they had invested in the past, right? What's really cool is when a firm joins us and they have sort of a tangible strategy, and this is what we've been doing and this is what has been working. But, a lot of firms are, we have a minimal social presence. This just hasn't been a priority for us. And we really, really know it's important. So being able to plug in to what Wealthspire offers, I think we're at 10 full-time marketers now. That's how much the firm believes in us. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really kind of impressive to be like, listen, and it's not just marketing, right? It's compliance, it's operations. It's a lot of things that I don't think advisors maybe relish. Maybe it's not the best part of what they do and why they do it. So being able to plug into Wealthspire, what we're finding is only opportunity, right? So we just announced that we had, acquired a firm in Ohio just last week, I think. And they're fantastic. Oh my gosh, these people are so awesome. And getting to know them, they have all of the stuff that is exciting for me. They have fantastic talent. They're woman owned. They are a five woman team. This is amazing. And they're in a new market. It opens up all of these opportunities for all of us, right? It's a new market for us. So we get to learn more about ideal clients in this market. Who do they serve? What's worked well for them? Because what we get out of it is, what have you been doing well? How have you been serving your clients in a way that we can share it with the whole firm? Like this, the success spreads. And on the other end, they're getting from us full service marketing. Like we're going to be all in the SEO and get to know them so we can position them to be in front of more people. So if anything, the challenge isn't marketing. Sometimes it's a cultural thing. Like we just have to get to know each other a little bit and how we work. But it's been, I think we're lucky too. I think we always pick people that we like to start with, and they kind of get it and they're just as excited as we are. But for marketing, it's been all like blue skies for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No challenges. I got no dirt. I got no gossip.
I suspect that having a great marketing program, I wonder if one of the research houses has a percentage on this, but I wonder if having a great marketing program, organic growth, how much that differentiates you as an acquirer to those that may not have that as a strength. That firm in particular, these 5 women coming over, I'm sure there are earnouts and targets and things like that. And if they're coming into your organization with you at the helm of the marketing, I got to think they're going to be really excited that there's somebody there that's going to help them achieve their targets. So I suspect it's a great differentiator as the M&A team is going out there and trying to do deals.
You're so right. And I think this is my opinion, just based on the people that we're meeting with and the people that are joining Wealthspire. There's certainly a trend where we're not seeing founders and principals who are ready to get on their sailboat or golf or sit on the porch with the lighthouse in the background. We're not seeing founders like that. We're seeing founders who are like, I just want to get to that next level. Like, I just want to partner and I want to focus on this. Like, we have founders who have joined us that are like, I just want to focus on organic growth. I just want to go out and get new business and, evangelize the word of the firm, but I can't because I have to worry about compliance and ops and all of that. So that's also super exciting because now we're getting kind of an infusion of enthusiastic people who want what we want. So
that's awesome. And they're probably bringing unique insights, perhaps unique tools, processes that they've used to grow their firms to date.
yeah,
So switching gears a little bit, love to talk a little bit about your tech stack.
sure.
We've got some of the talent we've talked about, but the tools. What are you
Yeah,
using? What's your tech stack? What's your focus there?
sure. And, I should have talked about this earlier because I feel like technology is sort of the 10th man or whatever it is, because, or woman. Sorry, I don't want that, not gender specific, the 10th person on our team, because tech plays such a strong role in our growth and our success. And we didn't have many of these tools even 5 years ago. So our tech stack, we use HubSpot at the center of our marketing department. It's absolutely the hub. It's where we track activity. It's connected to our website, which is on WordPress. It's our email marketing tool. We do events through that. And you and I had, I'm always going to be honest. So if there is a challenge with firms joining us, it is sometimes syncing up technology. People they might not come with their own marketing department, but they might come with their own CRM. So getting that tech sync can take a little time and can take a lot of finesse. So wherever people are in their tech journey to get integrated into Wealthspire, HubSpot is always the constant. We can always track our efforts, our campaigns, our engagement with prospects, and even clients. That's something that we don't talk about a lot, but we want engaged clients too. So we want to make sure our clients are attending our webinars and our events and opening our newsletters and stuff like that. And then just recently, I think last year, we started working with Catchlight. And it's been actually really, really cool. Like, obviously, I think we're still in the early innings of working with Catchlight, but as we had relaunched our website, fully integrated with HubSpot, so every form that's filled out, every conversion, every download, we're tracking that. We have a lead scoring system in HubSpot. What was missing was whenever somebody would fill out a form, we ask them to self-identify. Obviously, I'm a business owner. I'm looking to retire. And we would kind of push them to do that through the form. But then that was kind of it. Then we were sort of like, well, before I hand this to an advisor, and you said it very well about how speed is everything. Like, when a lead comes in, we have to get this. It is a hot potato. We have to get it to somebody quickly.
Right.
And personalizing that experience is so important. You want to talk about differentiation. But it was, a lead would come in through the website, and then it's sort of a scramble. It's like, okay, let's Google this person. Let's find out what we can. Are they in our CRM? What's their HubSpot engagement score? So whenever we were introduced to Catchlight, just seeing the reports that we got back, I thought, well, this is kind of a game changer, not just for us, because that's information that we can store and continue to build out the profile of this person. It also helps us determine really quickly if this isn't the right fit for us, or this might be sort of maybe a next gen. They're not quite qualified to be a client now, but this is the kind of experience we can give to them right now. And then also the data that we got from these Catchlight reports really helped us hone in on which advisor would be the best fit for them. So the way our process now works, which is so much better, is a lead would come in. We've implemented Calendly, but the lead would come in and we can still check HubSpot for engagement scores. Right. We can get a feel for whether they've self-identified. This is the kind of stuff they've downloaded. We know that they checked out 3 different bios. This Catchlight report now really fills in the missing pieces. And so we can give the advisor, and this is in the matter of minutes, this is very, very quickly, get to the advisor a report that almost paints sort of a full picture of who this person is and what could be their possible reasons for wanting to reach out. People are typically, prompted to reach out for a reason. I'm going through a divorce. I was talking to my girls at lunch, but being able to hand them off to a person that we know is going to make a connection, it's great for us. And the advisors really have confidence that we've vetted these people, that when they make that phone call, they know where to steer the conversation. And that's what it's all about. So that's how technology, tracking aside, don't even get me started on how we can track our efforts now. But that experience alone has been a real game changer for us.
Yeah. So I think understanding ICP, I look at a lot of advisor websites. I'm a student of the game, trying to learn as much as I can about the business. And so much of the positioning is around a couple walking hand in hand down the beach as they float off into retirement. The quintessential.
That's me, by the way. That's all I want.
Right. or staring at the lighthouse, as you talked about before.
Yes.
So I think ICP is really important to hone in on it. Who are you as a firm? Like we talked about your recent acquisition.
Yeah.
The firm out in, I think, Ohio, 5 women who are really focused on women and the specific needs that they have in managing their wealth and projecting into the future. Takes me into, thinking about the personalization. You talked about knowing more about who a prospect is.
Yeah.
Would love to chat a little bit about this, the focus of personalization, the focus of leveraging data to make sure, like, I love the fact that you guys are understanding who that prospect is and then and what their needs are and putting them in touch with the right advisor.
Right.
Who's the right person to help this individual based on their perceived needs? But then that outreach, who is this person? What are they into? How do you make that personal connection? Because at the end of the day, this is all about a relationship between the advisor and the client. And it's one that's built on trust. It's one that's built on some history there of knowing each other. Love to hear your perspective on the power of the data to drive that personalization, drive these connections.
Yeah. I just, in my head, I thought about meet cutes, like in movies, like we're basically creating the perfect rom-com meet cute. Like that's my goal, is I want you to get a phone call from an advisor and be like, yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah.
So because, right, Wealthspire is a national organization, we created an ideal client persona for the firm, right? Because we need to be able to talk about not just who we are, but the firm. Who do we serve? Who we are? We need confidence around that. So we started by creating an ideal client for the firm. It's a couple. They're in their, I think, mid-50s. This is their concerns. These are the ages of their growing children. This is, so that's where we started. Then we've got our regions, which, I learned the hard way that Seattle's clients are a little bit, that might be the same couple. It might be a single person. Mm-hmm. Seattle's clients are going to be different from Milwaukee's clients, slightly different values, slightly different way that they've achieved their wealth. The interesting thing is that we've got so much data at our fingertips. And when we were thinking about, so we've got this ideal client persona, now what? But we know that this one advisor over there specializes in that. And we know that over here, we've got an advisor that specializes in that. What else do we have specialties in? So we did this huge exercise where we basically interviewed all the advisors, talked to different offices about who they serve. And then we went to our CRM, we went to the data and found that we had quite a few niches. We saw the content that was backing it up. And we thought, if we could really organize this, really structure these into campaigns, this is who we serve. Our ideal client is who we serve, but we have strong expertise serving attorney partners. We have strong expertise serving women investors. We have, our philanthropic clients. It became clearer and clearer about who exactly, where we had real specialty. And what was so cool for me, because I'm like a culture nut, is that it was across state lines. So we could actually create these sort of niche teams that were California, New York, Florida, so that no matter where you were, we had a specialty advisor who could help you. It also helps with the content creation, right? We should be writing a blog. We should have an ebook on special needs, which we're working on. We didn't realize that we had a handful of advisors who were really passionate, coming from a very personal place that served special needs families. Like that's where the authority comes from. You are in the trenches doing this kind of work. So from that data, we create these teams. We put a full integrated marketing strategy around this, right? This is how we think about SEO. Like if we're thinking we want to have a presence in SEO, maybe it isn't just estate planning, which, good luck trying to get some keywords on estate planning. Everybody does that. But
they get a little expensive, right?
They do get a little expensive. But if it's like we know how to serve law firm partners at this firm in New York City, and here's the content that you can download, that's pretty powerful stuff. That to me says, wow, these people not only know me, but they work with 10 of my associates. Like they really get it. They know our comp structure. That has been super powerful for us. And it actually galvanizes the team because you're like, oh, you do this. Well, how do you there's like best practice sharing and stuff too. So that's how we've structured our website. It's how we've structured our SEO campaigns. It's how we think about content. We have set up all of the email drip campaigns to focus on these specialties. That is how we personalize, right? I think that nobody is just like, oh, I want to know how to best retire. That is so general. Like that's not the way I think
please.
that. Yeah, I would too, but I would love it if it was, a woman advised, like personally, right? Like I can envision who the advisor that I would love to talk to, that I would love a peer. Some people might want a partner, but personally, I would love a peer. So if a firm partnered me with somebody who I immediately was like, yes, I could be friends with this person. That's the journey that I want to go on. And that's, I think, our job as marketers.
Yeah. It's interesting. We talked the other day about the blurred lines between, some of the traditional brand marketing that we as CMOs do, and growth in particular, where it's hyper personalized, hyper performance oriented, and very measured. Shifting a little bit, I'd love to get some perspective on with organic in particular. Last year or two, a big win you had, and maybe a big miss that you had.
Okay, all right. We don't miss, Dan. I don't know who you're talking to right now,
I was told I have to ask that question.
I mean, I'm going to be obviously partial to the marketing wins. But so we have an advisor branding program, and it's one sneaky way for me to draft advisors who are growth focused, but maybe need a little more direction about their own brand. It's a 6-month program. We do full intake on them. We create an ideal client persona for that advisor. So knowing here's the firm, here's where you are on the target, right? If the ideal client for the firm is the bullseye, here's where you land. Humanizing them and then deciding where to go to find those people, right? So do they listen to podcasts? Are they big in LinkedIn? Are they, where do they go for their information? Who are the COIs that might help you in that ecosphere? So we had quite a few of those folks go through that. And one particular advisor, she's fantastic. She's just amazing. She's just a shining star. Not that I'm biased.
Biased, maybe.
She was very, very particular about, my niche is helping not just divorced women, but women who are at the top, women who are, are power women. And she said it's sometimes it's lonely there. And I was a little bit skeptical. I'm always very sensitive about, women need to be treated different. You know what I mean? There's always a balance because I am a woman. And she wanted to do an event. She called it the Sisterhood Summit. And she had 3 of her COIs. Like, she was incredibly thoughtful about this. So she knew who her ideal client was. She knew the results she wanted to get out of doing an event. She was very much, this needs to be in person. I know my ideal client. They're ready to get back in person. They want to network with other women just like them. So we put all of the marketing materials around it. She held, it was, I think, maybe a 40-person event. This was in the DC area. And I remember, she'll get it now, but I walked in and they had branded everything pink. And at first I was like, oh, no, not pink. We didn't do pink. Oh, Dan, it was perfect. It hit all the right notes. All
nice.
4 of the speakers, it was her. And like I said, 3 COIs who were all amazing, incredible, successful women. They all had some pink notes. Like, it was branded. It was in the Barbie era. Like, it was a slam dunk. And what was interesting was I asked her about her guest list, and she's like, okay, now that table, we purposely put all the attorneys together because she was so thoughtful about down to the seating chart. Yep. And she knew exactly who was in the room. She knew who she wanted to introduce to her COIs. The COIs did the same for her. And she had landed 3 clients in just a week or 2. Like, it was instant success. Like, she had nailed this perfectly. That to me is just a recent win, but definitely an example
great
how
right there.
Absolutely. And people have noticed, like, wow, that was really executed well. How can we continue doing stuff like that? Now you got me thinking about a miss. Let me think about that.
And look, we miss all the time. Whatever we're doing here at Catchlight, and you said it earlier, we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And the win is to learn from that mistake and how do we get better at what we're doing?
I do have a miss. Is there time to talk about a miss? It's
sure,
not, it's just a personal one. It's just whenever I get an email that seems very personal, and then I'll get another email and it's addressed to somebody else. You ever gotten that? It was like, hi, Angela, we hope you enjoyed going to this conference. And then the next one is like, hey, Joanne, we hope. And I'm like,
oh, come on.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's a little bit of effort,
It's just
all
a little bit.
I want to talk just for a minute on content strategy.
Yeah.
You said something funny to me the other day. Like, years ago, we would just send out our newsletters, right. and it was sort of a hope and pray that somebody would open it, click on it, and take some action. And we didn't have these things instrumented very well.
Yeah.
But we're friends on social, and I follow you. You're awesome on LinkedIn. If those out there, if you're not following Angela on LinkedIn, do it now because you're going to learn a lot. But would love to hear a little bit about content strategy and how that weaves into your social presence.
Sure. What's great about so I'm a writer. I mean, at heart, I've always been a writer. I'm all about the word, and it just used to be writing. Content, because of technology, means so much now. I mean, we're on a podcast right now. It's video. It's, in fact, the more motion, the more interaction. People are just so inundated with data and flashy things that our thumbs are tired from just scrolling and scrolling. Right. So it really is, what can you be doing to get people to stop? How are you connecting with people? And everybody has brand, right? Everybody has a presence, whether you like it or not, and what you do with it. So when we think about content for the firm, everything is integrated. No, I never do a one and done. Nobody's ever I'm going to write this beautiful, gorgeous piece, because you know what? You're going to be disappointed. It's going to get 10 likes. One client might download that baby. But you know what? If you translate that into an infographic and you put it on Instagram, you create a reel, you do an Instagram takeover, you post something on LinkedIn that goes right to or to a webinar. So everything that we do is multi-channel and multimedia. Every piece, every thought. And like I said, everything typically goes back to one of our niche or specialty campaigns. As far as personal brand, Dan, I'm still learning. I joined Wealthspire, and I think this might be true for you too. And I got to put you on the spot. We've always been in the background. Marketers are in the background. We don't, But that's changed. We're a voice, right? My friend Matt said that we're a megaphone, and that stays with me. So when I joined Wealthspire, I'm in the background. Like I'm, on the side of the stage telling everybody else to go post stuff on LinkedIn. And I thought, I'm the head of marketing. What is wrong with me? Like, this is part of who we are. So I just try to be authentic. There's all the algorithms that say you need to put in X number of hashtags and then go engage with 5 posts and then do this. And all of that is true. I mean, everything's an algorithm. But I think personally, as I try to get more and more comfortable talking about life and what we're working on and what I'm excited about, if it comes from a place of just genuine excitement, I hope it comes off that way.
Well, it certainly does. I'm like I've said in the past, I'm a big fan. So please keep it up, because I'm learning from you all the time. So appreciate that. Getting into the sort of end of this and wrapping things up, two final questions. One we talked a little bit about before. Wealthspire is a big player in the M&A front. And I suggested that organic as a strategy, as an acquirer, could be a big differentiator. Would love to just hear how, as you're acquiring firms, what's your process to get those new firms onto your program and get them focused on organic?
Well, I'm fortunate that I get a crack before they join, right? So during those initial conversations, I'm a stalker. We're all marketers. We stalk. So when I'm first introduced to a firm and they're still kind of, deciding which is the right partner for them, I can really dig in and see what's possible based just surface level based on what they're doing now. I can bring those conversations to those topics to that first conversation and say, hey, listen, did a little bit of research. Here are the questions I have for you. What are your goals for growth? This is what I can see us doing together. Like it's such a cool conversation because there's nothing to lose at that point. Like that's just, We're just collaborating. And whether you join Wealthspire, you go somewhere else, it's great for me to learn and it's great for them to kind of to take with them. But once you join, our process is pretty clear. We do initial intake. We do like a deep dive. What have you been doing? What's been working? What's been like your slam dunk things that you're doing to attract new clients, to keep your current clients? Are you doing events? Are you doing advertising? Like we really kind of go through all of it. We also dig into collateral. Like maybe there's just a 1-pager that is always like, boom, every time I use this, it really resonates. And again, because we're still learning, I can take that and say, hey, this would really, really work well in San Francisco because we've got a similar team doing similar. Mm-hmm. So that's exciting for me. So once we do that intake, there is a full, the rebrand process, which we bring them through, but we're really intentional about the strategy to make sure that their current clients are happy. That's so key. Like change is always hard. So whenever the name changes on the door, how do we make sure that current clients feel there's a continuity, that they're actually excited to be part of something bigger? What else can we be offering them to make them feel like, wow, this is bigger. We're bringing in bigger events or whatever is important to them. And then it's digging into the markets, right? If we're in an existing market, how can we integrate you into the existing team and you can leverage that to grow, to do more of what you want to do? It really always starts with kind of each personal why, what are you trying to do? Why are you doing it? And marketing is just a tool to help them get there. So that's kind of our process. It's that intake, real assessment, and then creating that plan, that strategy for how we're going to help them integrate and grow.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Final question. Then you're off the hook.
All right.
So if memory serves, Wealthspire was effectively created through a merger of two firms in October 2019.
5 years ago.
So 5 years, exactly. So lots has transpired since that date. So if you knew then what you know now, as a CMO of this newly formed entity, Wealthspire, what would you do? What would you change, if anything?
What would I change? Okay. All right. I think that we talked about blurred lines, and I started my career as very much a traditional marketer. I was interested in getting your attention with brand awareness, bringing you to the firm, bringing you to the website, and then that's it. I'm done. And I never liked that kind of marketing. I never found that to be terribly rewarding. What I do like, though, is being part of the full cycle, that full life journey of a client. Yes, I'm still trying to get your attention. Yes, I want to introduce you to one of my advisors, but then I want to help you feel supported through the onboarding process. And I want to introduce you to maybe a larger team and maybe more of our services. I want you to be an evangelist and refer your friends. So, and that's growth marketing, right? That's that
Right.
growth marketing. And that's where I've found the most excitement in what I do. And if I had known then that this was the direction that we were going to go as an industry, I wish I would have been on the forefront of that. I wish I could have known and said, no, this is the way we should be doing it. Because I think I would have just enjoyed marketing a lot more back then. And it's so much more rewarding to kind of do that be there for the whole relationship, frankly.
Yeah, full life cycle, not just acquisition. So,
But
Angela, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your time. So glad you're able to join us.
thank you.
And we'll catch you on another podcast.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan.
And thanks for everybody for tuning in. Remember, click one of the links below and subscribe, and we'll be back soon.
Thank you for listening to the Grow Organically podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit catchlight.ai, where you can access all our podcasts, including show notes and other resources to keep learning. This podcast was produced by Catchlight Insights, LLC. It is for informational and educational purposes only. The content of this podcast does not constitute an offer or recommendation of any securities and is not intended to provide tax, legal, or investment advice. The views expressed are those of the speakers and not necessarily those of Catchlight or its affiliates, and are as of the date indicated, based on the information available at that time, and may change based on market or other conditions. Catchlight does not assume any duty to update any of the information. Catchlight and other third parties mentioned in the podcast are independent entities and not affiliated. Catchlight does not endorse any investment advisor or provide advice or recommendations to any prospective or existing client of an investment advisor as to the selection or retention of that investment advisor. The information is not intended for any person or entity in any jurisdiction where the distribution or use of such information would be contrary to local law. Third-party trademarks referenced herein are the property of the respective owners. All others are the property of Catchlight Insights, LLC, copyright 2024 Catchlight Insights, LLC. All rights reserved.